Hello everyone, today I'd like to talk to you about a fragrance that I purchased kind of impulsively, only after testing it like 3 times and not very consciously at that. So before you laugh at me, so remember during one of my last videos with the unboxing from Place Vendôme, there was a sample I received of Un Jardin à la sorry, I knew I was going to butcher this name, Un Jardin à Cythère. Now I know I am very aware that in the past I've called this fragrance something else. I think I imagined an N being there, so I think I called it Un Jardin à Cythère. I apologize for that. So I received that sample, haven't used it. However, I did smell this in perfume shops very fugitively, very rapidly, without giving it much care or much thought. However, it was on my last trip. I went to Spain a week ago. I don't know how much time it's been. Time's fuzzy at the moment. So in my last trip to Spain, because it was so hot. And by the way, I think I spoke about this somewhere. In Spain, where it's, well, in any country that has these insane temperatures, I was only able, although I got some fragrances with me, I brought some fragrances with me, I wasn't able to wear any of them, with the exception of Acqua di Sale, because all of them were just not lasting, they wouldn't last on my skin. Everything just evaporated so fast. So for this reason, when I was in the airport, I smelled, I went past the Hermès boutique, and I wanted to give this Jardin à Cythère another try. And there's something about testing a fragrance more times than once, you know. Well, actually testing a fragrance, that means something else, but trying on a fragrance more times than once. I think I finally understood what Un Jardin à Cythère was all about, I think, because I'm not quite there. I still haven't worn this. I'm still waiting. I still waited for me to speak about it to you and then to wear it properly. I don't think I've even spritzed it. I don't know. I don't remember, because I got this just a few days ago. So when I smelled it the first time, I wasn't very impressed. It just felt like a generic, well, not truly generic. There was something alluring about the scent, even from the first time I smelled it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have maybe liked it so much now. But there was really nothing to write home about in my head. However, that time, the last time I tried it on, I think I got a bit closer to the idea of the fragrance, and it is stunning. By the way, this is my first fragrance from the Jardin collection from Hermès. For years now, I've been saying that I wanted to purchase, what's the name, Un Jardin sur la Lagune, just because I love the way that fragrance smells. It is amazing. It is, I think it's my favorite, although it is being contested right now by this Jardin à Cythère. So I do apologize in advance if I'm going to butcher the name yet again. However, it is what it is. So this fragrance was launched this year It's fairly new, and I'm glad to see that this Jardin collection is growing. This is a good thing, although it's not growing as rapidly as the Aqualegoria line from Guerlain is. I don't think that's a good thing. Do leave me your thoughts on the matter in the comments. Should you have so many launches in one single collection, or one single house for that matter? Isn't it getting a bit too much for the consumer? I don't know, maybe. We'll see. So this fragrance is inspired by this Greek island called Cythère. I'm probably butchering that name, about which I know next to nothing. However, I don't think Cythère. I'm with the Hermès official page, official website open in front of me right now, and I'm able to see some information there. So let's just have a read. So created by Hermès' perfumer Christine Nagel, Un Jardin à Cythère Eau de Toilette is a surprising garden that is neither green nor floral, but blonde. It is the expression of an olfactory quest through Greece that leads to Cythère, a picturesque island that has inspired many artists. Right, I guess. However, I don't think that helps much. It's just that this is just branding. The fragrance, however, is something else. I think so. Whenever I smell a fragrance, I guess this is a defect by now. I always try to envision myself explaining what this smells like, and this is getting, I thought this would be getting progressively easier. However, it is quite the opposite. I don't know why, but it is true that we suffer from a specialized sort of language when it comes to describing smells. And this is why we borrow from other terms. I'm not going to get into that, but you can imagine what I mean by that. We describe scents as being rounded, that's a shape, as being green, that's a color, as being sweet, that's a taste. So the smell, the sense of smell doesn't have a language of its own, and this is I guess a problem for people like me who are trying to describe scents to people online. But enough about that. So whenever I smell a new fragrance, I'm trying to maybe pull apart some things in order to describe that fragrance, in order to transmit what this smells like. And for Un Jardin à Cythère, and for other Hermès fragrances as well, I find this very, very difficult, because, and I think this is to some degree a testament to the perfumer. I'm pretty sure about that. I think this is a testament to her talent, to Christine Nagel's talent, for having created such a unique blend of something that it's, again, I think I've said this for many times, that is much more than the sum of its parts. However, if I were to focus on some things, I would say that Un Jardin à Cythère is very fresh, and this should point out the introduction to the video, right? It was extremely hot everywhere, and the fact that I finally encountered another scent that promised to be to bring the freshness that I desperately needed in a very, very warm climate, which now that I'm at home, it's not that much different as 32 degrees Celsius. So that's quite hot. I had to buy it. I instantly had to buy it, and also helped with the fact that I finally got into the fragrance, so to speak. So it is very fresh. It has this freshness that I call effervescent, and this is an added energy to the fragrance, to the smell, right? When I describe something as being effervescent, I'm not only focusing on that, I not only mean that characteristic that sometimes very sweet citrus blossoms have, that they can create that sense of added energy to the smell, something that's bubbly, something that's kind of has this upward trend, again with the language. But apart from that, I think there's a sense of wheat. I can smell the grain, the wheat in this fragrance. It's almost like baked bread, but it's not quite there. It's so difficult to explain. It's like the smell that raw cereal, and when I say cereal, I'm not talking about the morning food, the breakfast cereal things that people in the States eat. I'm talking about the plants, the cereal, the class of plants that produce grain. And this, I think, was the thing that pushed me over the edge into buying this fragrance. It is so unique. It's not like something I haven't smelled at all anywhere. I mean, it does remind me a bit of Serge Lutens. What's the name? Jeu de peau. Jeu de peau. It does remind me a bit of Jeu de peau. That fresh biscuit smell that it has. And interestingly, it also has this sort of milky accord that's not listed anywhere. However, I think I can feel it. There's a lactonic property to this smell as well. And mind you, while always remaining on the fresh side of things, this is, albeit a powerful scent, it is never overpowering, and it's never cloying, and it's never annoying. And this is a trait that I look for in fragrances, and I've looked for in fragrances always. But this, so the way that these two are coupled, the smell of grain, the wheat smell, together with this sort of milky accord that's almost there, right? I think I could probably classify Un Jardin à Cythère into the trend of fragrances that started in 2021. It was the main theme, I guess, for 2021 and 2022. And I think this is a latecomer of that trend in 2023, of fresh, lactonic, musky scents. So some examples of this, so the closest to this is A Ghost in the Shell by État Libre d'Orange, and I find that they are very akin. They're not the same, but they are in the same idea. What Jardin à Cythère brings to the table is that very fine wheat smell that I very much adore right now. So yeah, it's A Ghost in the Shell. It's Muscoutre Blanc by Guerlain. It's Zoologist Cow. There's many fragrances. Oh, of course, it's Blanche Bête. But they are all different interpretations of the same trend. However, what binds them all, I think, is that underlying freshness and that milky lactonic accord. And there are many more fragrances, but they don't come to mind right now. I'm sure you can tell me others. So yeah, this is what I think about Un Jardin à Cythère. But if I want to look at the notes, because I want to do this. Okay, Un Jardin à Cythère on Fragrantica, it lists citrus as a note, and I would like to say that this is it does have citrusy facets, although I would never classify this as a citrus fresh smell. The freshness comes from another thing, another part. Then you have pistachio, which I guess comes into play. Oh, yes. I remember when I was smelling this, I found it very similar to La Petite Robe Noire Eau Fraîche, which is again sort of in the same vibe as this one, but that one has that pistachio note. So it is true. What I might be smelling as grain or a grain note, it might just be to other noses, it might just be this pistachio nutty flavor, right? But to my nose, this doesn't smell like pistachio all that much. It smells like grain. Then there's this, so they mention this olive, well, they say olive tree, but it would be olive wood, I guess. But so this would have been the typically, I don't know, Greek thing about this fragrance. I'm not sure what to say about this. However, there is a woody undertone, but that woodiness I attribute it to the grain smell as well. So it's a grassy, almost hay, almost dried grass smell to this. And then there's this elusive green accord, which could mean anything. However, I wouldn't necessarily think this fragrance is very green, although it has some green aspects to it. It's citrusy, it's green, but everything is the citrusy smell and the greenery are just in the background. I think for myself, for my nose, the main player is the grain and the lactonic accord, as I mentioned earlier. So there's that. Don't know what else to say about this fragrance, with the exception of that it's a very potent fragrance without it being very overpowering. It lasts for quite some time on the skin, and it projects quite well. So yeah, a very good launch. I think I am going to abuse this in the summer heat, and in the summer heats to come. So yeah, this was my, I guess, review by now of Un Jardin à Cythère by Hermès. Congratulations to Christine Nagel once again. If you'd like to know more about this fragrance, write to me in the comments. And until next time, remember, fragrance creates memories, and may yours be happy.